Now, this is Gus O'Donnell, the Cabinet Secretary, head of the Home Civil Service, and he's delivering a speech, Check Against Delivery, Working to a Common Purpose. That's the title of his speech. It's on the internet. And in it, he praises Lynn Holmer, who has become the head of the immigration unit. How can he do that? She's just been thrown out of a job. Common purpose? I'll leave you to think about it. Robert Peston, common purpose. He's the big man who advises us on what's supposed to be happening with the economy, but he never tells us the truth about the collapse of the pound and the dollar. Oh dear, this is the head of planning of the Conservative Party. But common purpose is socialist, and it's mainly worked through the Office of the Deputy Prime Minister and Labour. But now we've got the Conservatives at high level involved with it. Why? Because they're exactly the same. They just lie to you. Sorry? And this one, well, I couldn't believe this, because I've talked about this man before. You'll have seen him blasted all over your television sets because he's just had life imprisonment for a horrific paedophile incident up in Scotland. I thought he'd already gone to prison the last time I gave a talk, but he's only just gone. So I was pretty surprised when last night somebody said, do you realise his profile is still up on Common Purpose's website? Now the interesting thing is when Common Purpose selected this man for Common Purpose training, he was selected as a suitable person by the local advisory board, which contained a reasonably senior police officer. I have learnt to my consternation that that police officer just happens to come from the same police force that arrested this man for paedophilia. Isn't that a conflict of interest? What is this charity doing? Something very nasty. Two more to go. Law Society, I've talked about, riddled with common purpose, works directly with a company called the Association of Police Officers. Some emails, these are all on my website, so I'm not going to dwell on this. Here's Common Purpose trying to track us. They are really desperate to know who's taking the lid off. Here's Westminster trying to track people attacking the European Union. And at the bottom, asking questions about common purpose. I cannot find out who commissioned this research. So Westminster didn't want to tell me. Here's the Media Standards Trust, not mentioned on Common Purpose's door. But this is interesting. This is an organisation called the Organisation for Security and Cooperation in Europe. It's a mixture of all the Eastern Bloc countries, including Russia, and they're talking about how they're going to sort Europe out. And it's being recommended by Mr. Rifkin, who has suddenly appeared to help promote the European Union. And, oh dear, the document's called Common Purpose. It's easy, isn't it, when you know what to look for, what the common purpose is. Now, we talked about the Bilderbergers. Here's Mr. Ed Balls, and here he is admitting that he went to a Bilderberger conference and the costs were provided by you. Well done. But this is a Bilderberger press release, and if you read it somewhere, I can't find it quickly, but it says that people attend in a private capacity and not an official capacity. So somebody's telling porkies here because he claimed public expenses, but Bilderberger said he attended in a private capacity. This is a Telegraph article on the Bilderbergers, who never tell us what they're doing. And in this document, the Bilderbergers are quoted quite rightly as saying they're a shadow world government. But Tories, Lib Dems, Labour attend Bilderberg. So what are they doing? Well, there's George Osborne. He's been attending Bilderberger. So we've got Labour and Conservatives both attending a meeting in a very secretive organisation that started its roots around the Nazi era. Do you get a warm feeling? And if you still don't believe it, this is, I know it's very faint, but this is a Westminster document, and it's the all-parliamentary group for one world governance. So down here, they can't run the country, but they're already planning to rule the world. These people are dangerous. So if we sum it up, we know what the communists were plotting. I'll use the word Marxist because then I can get rid of communists and fascists. And I put it to this court that treason has been committed and is being committed by the Lib Lab Con. And they are dismantling this country to force us into a foreign power, which is the European Union, and that European Union is a dictatorship. Thank you very much.